Hi YouTube. I guess this is video number one. We'll see how it goes. I'm pretty self-conscious about listening to myself on camera, so I'm a little bit awkward. I apologize in advance. Um, yeah. Anyways, I'm Taylor. I am 20 years old and I live in Brantford, Ontario, in Canada. Um, and this is my coming out slash it gets better story. I've kind of always had a feeling that I was different from other kids when I was younger, and I wasn't able to distinguish the feelings until later in elementary school, say grade 7 or 8. Um, all through school, I was born with a cleft lip and palate, and I've had orthodontic work being done on me since I was pretty young. So I endured a lot of bullying during elementary school because of my face and surgeries and my crazy whacked out teeth. Um, but as I got older and knew that I was different from other boys, the bullying started to change and it was more or less directed towards my sexuality, which for a kid in grade 7 is kind of something that you you're, you have really no idea. I mean, I remember being called gay, being called fag in grade 7, and having to Urban Dictionary those words because, um, well, especially fag. I mean, gay, whatever, but that was a new one for me, hearing that word. Um, I mean, I don't live in a small town, but our city is relatively small. So a lot of people know a lot of people and everybody's business and everything in between pretty much around here. Um, but yeah, I uh, I thought that I did some research after being bullied in grade 7 about grade 7 and 8 kids picking on me about being more feminine and hanging out with girls more than guys, and just I had more to relate to girls. I mean, I kind of had a shitty relationship with my dad growing up, so I was raised primarily by my mom and my grandma, and my mom didn't get with my stepdad until much later. So I pretty much was already who I was going to be um, by the time I got married. Um, yeah, so I did some research and I thought that if I had just accepted what they were calling me, that it would make the bullying go away. Or so I thought. And really, it only made it worse. Um, the teacher found out that I had claimed and just agreed with them just to try to get the bullying to stop. Um, and kind of outed myself, I guess, even though I didn't really know what coming out at that point meant. Um, yeah, so come parent teacher interviews, the teacher asked me to leave the room while he spoke to my mom, and I knew that that was going to be the topic, and I was kind of scared because I had never really talked to her about what the bullying that went on at school. So like 10 minutes passed, I sat in the hallway twiddling my thumbs, and he called me back in. My mom looked like she had been crying, and I was heartbroken because I mean, not only was the bullying affecting me, but now it's affecting my family, and even in grade 7 being that young, you never wanted anyone to hurt your family. So I mean, years passed, and I decided to go to a different high school than all the kids I went to elementary school with for a fresh beginning. And I only went to my best friend from elementary school came to high school with me, um, and I was able to reinvent myself. No one knew about the past I had at the other school, and I got to be a new me, start over, made some more guy friends, still hung out with majority of girls, but I kept a low profile. Wasn't bullied that much. I mean, you get the odd teasing from people, but that's me. It's high school. It's pretty rough for most folks. High school passed and went by really fast. I actually really enjoyed high school. I was sad when it came to an end. Um, but they went away to university and got into Mac and thought I wanted to teach French. I actually lived on campus, which was amazing, and I loved it. And it was that year living away that I finally realized who I was, and I had a some friends I had made that encouraged me. By the end of the year, um, I had told a few people at Mac, and when I came home to work for the summer at the place that I've been working for years, majority of high school, I started to tell my friends, my close coworkers, and they were all just really supportive and really made me feel like it was nothing to be ashamed of or worried about. Um, and it was them who really encouraged me and who got me through most of it. It was a while. My friends knew a long time before I decided to finally tell my mom. Actually, it's a funny story. She outed me way before I was ready to tell her. I was singing Diana Ross, I'm Coming Out in her car, and we had the stereo on blast, and I was rocking out. And she stops and turns the music down and asks me, like, are you Taylor? And I didn't say it. I was like, no. Just kind of grumbled about it. No. But actually, like, a few weeks later, she was going on a road trip to Sudbury to visit her friend and took my brother and sister with her. And they were on the road, and my mom's always been one person who I've never really wanted to disappoint. And I mean, her knowing about the stuff in elementary school was enough. So I kind of wanted to hold off. But I thought, like, she's gone, it's kind of my perfect opportunity. That way, by the time she gets back, she'll maybe have dealt with it, and we can move on like it didn't really happen kind of thing. So I screenshotted on my iPhone the cover art for the song, like the song playing in the iPod. I'm Coming Up by Diana Ross, and then I followed it by a message saying, I lied and I'm sorry, but I have to tell you that I'm gay. She never replied, which made me even more nervous when she got home. She came home and we didn't really talk about it. I told my friends that I did that, and kind of told me it was kind of a gutless thing to do, which I knew it was, but I thought that was the easiest way for me at that point. It was my best option, because I couldn't keep it inside anymore, especially from her. But yeah, so a few days pass, and we're in the kitchen alone, and she sits down, and she's like, so let's talk about that text message. And I automatically started to bawl my face off in the kitchen, and she's like, why are you crying? And I was like, because I feel like I'm disappointing you. And she was really supportive, and although she didn't really get it, how I knew, I mean, it's a common question, I guess, how do you know? But it can be reversed, and it's been reversed before, like, how do you know that you're straight? It's the same way you know that you're gay. You just know. Yeah, she cried, and I cried, and we kind of just went on, and she knew and acknowledged it, and was fine with it. I mean, I've never been, like, flamboyant or anything. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but just that's not my personality. I've always been outgoing and feminine, a little bit. I mean, gotta be honest, but I've never been one to be out there and open with that kind of stuff. So we just kind of went on with our lives. And then a few weeks later, I'm out shopping with my grandma, and apparently my mother had told my grandma without me knowing, which was great. And my grandma's first concern was, maybe you just haven't had a good girlfriend yet, and that's why you think you're good. I was like, no, Grandma, that's not how it works. And then their second biggest concern was contracting AIDS and HIV, and I was like, no, like, you don't have to be concerned, Grandma. Like, I know when the time is right, like, how to be safe. After that, I mean, it was easier to tell people. I mostly just told the people who I thought deserved to know, my closest friends and my coworkers that I saw all the time, and some friends at school, that kind of stuff. Some family members know, some don't. I mean, it's a part of me, and it's not all of me, and I don't want to be defined by that. And I think that until I meet that right someone, then I'll kind of just let it go and just continue with my life. I mean, I'm happy the way things are. I don't go out of my way to hide things, but I also don't go out of my way to to blurt it everywhere. I mean, most people already know. Most of my friends I told had already known, and my mom already knew, and so, I mean, I live my life. People get to know me for me and not for the fact that I'm gay and like guys, and so, I mean, it has gotten a lot better. Elementary school is rough, and high school, I had a good time in high school. I mean, I wish I wouldn't. It wasn't a society where I had to hide who I was throughout high school, because I knew going to high school, and still carried on relationships with girls just because that was the norm, and I wanted to keep that appearance up to my friends. But I mean, it got me through. I survived. I knew openly gay kids, and I mean, I commended them for having that confidence, but I just wasn't at that point in my life where I wanted to out myself like that, or deal with any more bullying. I wanted high school to be a good time. Like, it's supposed to be the best times of your life, and mine were really fun. And my life has gotten a lot better now. I work with in school, I work with a great bunch of people who don't care. It doesn't matter to them. They don't ask. We get along, and they like me for who I am. And I mean, there's a few who've asked. I'm not offended. If someone asks me, I'm going to be honest and tell them. But it does get better. It really does. I can't explain. Once high school's over and all that stuff, no one really... I mean, like, I've had a university, it's so diverse that it doesn't really matter at all. Like, no one goes out of their way to out you or to find out what you like or anything like that. Like, you just go and live your life, and that's all that matters. And as you continue on through life, I mean, you're gonna have people who have negative comments and who don't understand, and whatever. I mean, I still sometimes let the comments get to me that I see posts on other people's YouTube videos and on Facebook, people share, and it's like, I have to let it go, because everyone is entitled to their own opinion whether or not they suck. I mean, it's not really a mature way of putting it, but it does get better. It does. I mean, I can't really say much else than that. It just does. You have to trust that it'll get better. And I mean, if you have a family who's not supportive, lean on your friends. Or if you know you live with people who don't support LGBTQ rights, maybe you should tell your friends, and maybe wait to tell your family until you have some distance, like until you move away like I did, where you get the confidence in yourself. I needed that year away to gain confidence in myself, to be able to go home and tell everyone at home, because it's a different city. It was a different life. But you'll make it through. You will. I mean, there's so many resources out there now. So many people to be inspired by. I mean, I was inspired by a documentary I watched on Netflix. And all YouTube stars too. I mean, there's lots of resources out there to get support when you don't get it at home or from your friends. And when you feel alone, I mean, I turn to YouTube, and it brightens my day, and I hope it does the same thing for you. I mean, I hope this video wasn't too long-winded, and I hope I didn't mumble as much as I normally do, but I hope it does something for someone and helps you with your own story and your own sexuality. I mean, it's your business. If you don't want people to know, people don't have to know. You're like, it's your life. As long as you're happy and love yourself, that's all that matters, and no one else should give a fuck. It's true. Because the community is huge, and we're growing, and that's it. Alright, thanks for watching.